after the dispensary had been open a short time, a patient went walking out with a brown paper bag, and a curious and suspicious neighbor said to the person, "What's in the bag?" And the patient, lacking any other training, said, "Oh, those are magic cookies. You can't have any." And those sorts of neighborhood interactions are an opportunity to educate people and to allay their fears. And so a properly educated patient base can deal with those issues and can represent the community in a way that reflects positively on dispensing collectives overall. I think a good neighbor policy also deals with open lines of communication with your neighbors. Even in the best run dispensary, you will have complaints. Somebody's going to smell marijuana. Somebody's going to worry about their children walking home from school. And having open lines of communication will facilitate the kind of dialogue that keeps those things from being a crisis at the dispensary. One of the things that we've experimented with at several dispensaries is putting phone numbers on the sign out front, so that if somebody needs to reach the dispensary, instead of having a complaint that festers and they don't know where to go and they wind up calling the police department, there's a phone number there, and if they have a concern about the facility, they can just call the phone number. And a simple step like that will help address those community concerns. In West Hollywood, the neighborhood there was quite impacted by cannabis clubs. In West Hollywood, the city is only 1.9 square miles. There were 7 dispensing collectives in that city when they moved to regulate. And the neighborhood between the one I operated and the closest one, only about 150 yards of housing between the 2 dispensaries. And there was a tremendous impact. A lot of parking issues, smoking in the cars, that sort of thing. And the way we dealt with that, without getting the police department involved, was to just go around door to door and pass out business cards from both dispensaries. We said, hey, when you've got a problem, call us up. We will send someone to deal with it right away, and you won't have to deal with this. And not only did that alleviate the nuisance activity, it really persuaded the neighbors that we were committed to protecting their neighborhood and looking out for their values. And that was a tremendous step forward as well. And that, of course, leads to what I think is probably an important part of the good neighbor policy, and that is the response to the community concerns, whether they be from the elected officials or from the neighbors. We have to remember that being responsive to those concerns is the thing that's going to avoid the problems and keep the dispensary open. And in a situation where your mission is safe access, it's paramount to keep the doors open and keep serving the patients. And very few of us, thankfully, will ever have to face the DEA. But as medical cannabis becomes more and more a part of the daily routine of healthcare in California, virtually every dispensing collective and every group of patients is going to face the zoning board and the business license department and their city council or their board of supervisors. And so having those open lines of communication and being responsive to those concerns is going to go a very, very long way to protecting the dispensaries. I believe it's the fundamental responsibility of the dispensary operator to be a good neighbor and to be a legitimate business. We are past the sort of Wild West days of medical cannabis. We are coming of age as a legitimate healthcare industry, and it's so, so very important that these dispensary operators and the patients who visit them are committed to that kind of integrity and that kind of good behavior in the community. And I always encourage patients, that I hear a lot of grumbling from patients about this dispensary or that. And I always encourage them to use their ultimate authority in supporting those dispensaries that are good and that are positive in the community and helping to improve or perhaps ultimately avoid those dispensaries that are not. That, I think, is going to shore up our credibility and protect these dispensaries in the future. I hope after the session you'll get down and also be able to pick up this small booklet, which is for patients. It's called Medical Cannabis 101, and it talks a bit about choosing medicine. But germane to this conversation at the back, it talks a bit about choosing dispensaries, because it is an important part of this process that we bring to bear the market forces on those dispensaries that are good and are committed to giving more and are involved and that's going to make a difference. Thank you.
Thanks, Don, for your
so happy we alive. We together can survive. Stop the bullshit, stop the lies. And now's the time to legalize. Tell me, brother, tell me true. What the hell we gonna do? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? We so happy, we alive. We together can survive. Mother Nature, heaven sent, don't belong to government. Hey there, sister, what's the plan? Do you really understand? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? We so happy, we alive. We together can survive. Stop the bullshit, stop the lies. Now's the time to legalize. Half the world up in smoke. Where on earth can we take the tug? Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? Human nature, full and free, modifies reality. Open up, inner flower, peace and love, inner power. Open up, inner flower, peace and love, inner power. Remember the days we saw purple haze. 1 and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me?
Good evening, and welcome to Louisville Late Night. Good evening, and welcome to Louisville Late Night. This evening we're in beautiful San Francisco, California,